Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the third lecture of artificial intelligence. Uh, in the last lecture, we had seen about different types of agent and then their working creation and internal structure. And we have seen that different type of agents perform well in different circumstances. Now, in today's lecture, we will go ahead and we'll see that what exactly the problem solving agent is. And then we will talk about problem formulation, that how to design problem for certain agent. And then a few examples of the problems for artificial intelligent agent, some of the toy examples, and some of the examples from real world problems. And then at the end, we will be looking at how to represent a problem and search for a solution of that problem in a space. So there are two methods to represent a problem, a scenario, an environment, or you can say different possibilities based on the action, different states of an environment or a problem. So we will see a graph representation of the problem and then tree representation. Okay. So let's start with the formal definition of problem solving agent. We have seen that what exactly the working fashion of goal-based agent. In last lecture we had seen that in goal-based agent, while taking the present step or decision at the moment, we consider that how useful this particular action or particular step is for goal. So we incorporate the goal measures or goal related information while making a decision at any particular point. So problem solving is a kind of goal-based agent. It decides what to do by finding sequence of actions that lead to desirable states, and these desirable states are known as goal states. So there may be multiple goal states. So the problem solving agent try to find sequence of actions, or you can say sequences of action that could be performed in order to reach a certain state that we call it goal state. Now the first step in problem solving agent is goal formulation. We need to formulate a goal before going to find the sequence of action in order to achieve that goal. So the first step is to formulate the goal for an agent, and this goal should be formulated keeping the current situation or current state and the performance measure function. So both these inputs should be considered while formulating a goal. Now, after the goal formulation, we need to formulate the problem for an agent. So actually the problem formulation is deciding what actions and states to consider given a goal. So which the states are going we are going to consider uh, so all those states which are under the consideration and possible actions from those states. So the set of actions and possible states are combined and we formulate a problem. Now, the process of looking for such a sequence of action is called search. The process of looking for such a sequence that take you to the current state, that take you to the goal state from the current state. So that looking process, that process in which we look for such sequence is called search in the terminology of artificial intelligence or artificial intelligence, artificial intelligent agents. It takes a problem as input and return a solution. Okay, so the search process basically take a problem and it gives you a solution for that particular problem, and the solution is normally in the form of actions. That first you need to, since you are in this particular setup, this particular state, so you need to perform this action first, and then you will be in a different state, and then you need to perform that action. So the sequence of actions is basically what is called solution for a problem. The actions it recommends can be carried out is called the execution phase. So once you get, I mean, sequence of actions from the search algorithm, then the next phase is execution. Then the agent has to perform, has to take those action to reach to the goal state. Let's consider an example and then see that how we formulate our goal for that example and how we formulate problem and then what is the search algorithm and what kind of actions uh, could we perform in that particular setup. So you can see this is an example of a state inside USA, that is Romania. So we have this map of Romania. You can see different cities of Romania inside this map. Okay, so Bucharest is the capital of Romania. Okay, imagine an agent in the city of Arad. So Arad is one city of the Romania. Somewhere here, yes. So for example, you are here initially. Imagine an agent in the city of Arad in Romania enjoying a touring holiday. So basically the purpose of the agent is to explore cities. That is what is called touring problem. Okay, now how we can measure the performance of this agent. So the agent's performance measure contains many factors. Okay, so these are the factors that we will be considering for the performance of this agent sitting in the Romania. Okay, one of the performance measures could be sentence and to improve. So one of the measure could be to improve the sentence in Romanian language. Sentence basically the darkish shade that is developed due to uh, sun. So this may be considered as performance measure, and the other one is to improve the Romanian language. Other performance measure could be enjoy the nightlife or avoid hangovers and so on. So these could be the performance measures that we need to uh, improve in order to achieve better performance. Okay, the agent has a non-refundable ticket to fly out of the Bucharest tomorrow. Now, this is a kind of constraint, or you can say this is something that the agent should be very careful about. That the agent has a non-refundable ticket to fly out of Bucharest. So the agent has to reach the Bucharest on particular specified time in order to fly from there. So all this setup or all these conditions uh, can be considered as the agent's performance measure. Okay, now let's formulate our goal. What could be the goal for this problem? Now the goal is be in the Bucharest before the flight. Now this is the goal for this agent. The agent has to explore. The agent has to explore as many cities as possible, and keeping an eye on the deadline, or you can say, or the time on which it has to reach to the Bucharest in order to fly on time, because it has non-refundable ticket. Otherwise, it may lost the opportunity to avail that non-refundable ticket and fly out from Bucharest. So this is now goal, to reach Bucharest on time. Now let's formulate our problem. That what is the problem that the agent has to go through. So the problem is basically the problem consists of different states and different actions. So actions, set of states and set of actions is basically the problem. So here states are different cities in the map, and the actions are drive between cities. So this is the problem. You have certain number of cities in the Romania, and the actions are that you can travel from one city to another city. And now what is the search algorithm? Now the search algorithm is to search algorithm is to find a sequence of cities. So this was all about the problem formulation for a problem solving agent, and the example was of cities in the Romania state. Okay, now for this particular problem we can develop uh, a simple algorithm for this Romania touring problem. Okay, now this algorithm or this method actually receive or get a percept from the environment, and then the function has to return an action based on that percept. Okay, there are certain fixed variables. One is sequence. This sequence will basically give us, or it will have a sequence of actions. So initially it will empty because the agent is sitting somewhere on the location and in a city, and initially it is added. So initially sequence is empty. Now we have to find this sequence. The other variable is state. So state is some description of the current world state, and that is cities. Okay, now the goal is we have to formulate the goal. So initially it is empty, and the problem. So we have to uh, formulate that as well. So initially problem, goal, both are empty, and the state, we know state is the current uh, existence of the word or current state of the word, and sequence is initially empty, and that is a number of sequences, I mean number of actions. Okay, now once the agent received a percept, okay, so now based on this percept, the state of the word should be updated, because before the percept the word was in a different state, in a different condition. Once we receive this percept, now we can see word in a different state. So this is the method that get your current state and percept and give you the next state. Okay, now this is the next state you receive from this update state. This method actually get a state, a current state, and the percept receive and give you the next possible state. Now initially the sequence is empty, so we have nothing in a sequence. So if a sequence is empty, then you need to formulate the goal and problem, because initially we have both these structs empty. So let's consider it. Now this is the first time the agent is exploring the world. So sequence is empty. Now we need to formulate the goal. Okay, so the formulate goal algorithm or method takes the current state. So it takes the current state and then see that what exactly we want from this state. So for example, if it is in arid city currently, this is so the state of the word would be that there are different cities in the Romania state, and currently the agent is in arid. So this is a state, possible state. Now the state is given to the formulate goal method, and now the task is to formulate goal. Now in this scenario, the goal is, because and also the current time is given to the formulate goal. So the agent will see now on this particular time the agent has to reach to the Bucharest. So if the deadline is, you can say the time is approaching, then the agent has to make quick moves to reach to the Bucharest, and those moves or those uh, actions uh, should be decided quickly. So the formulate goal method actually it takes a state and it gives it actually takes the current state and gave you the goal that what would be the possible goal from the state. Okay, now the other method is that is formulate problem. Now this method actually takes the state as well as goal. The goal has been decided in the first step. In the second step, we need to formulate problem. So while formulating a problem, we need both the state and goal. So when this method takes the state and goal both, it gives you problem. Those that problem is basically a combination of actions and states. We have seen this in the previous lecture and previous slides. Say it basically gives you different states through which the agent has to go and possible actions. So once you give uh, current state and goal, so from current state all the possible states and all the possible actions are calculated and that is placed in this problem struct. Now this problem is given to the search algorithm. The search algorithm has to find a sequence that takes an agent from the current state to the goal state. So we receive a sequence and that is basically sequence of actions uh, sequence of actions that will take the agent to goal state from the current state. Okay, so once we receive this sequence,